Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is JAZZMAN by Carole King. This is the first Carole King reaction on the channel. This is an artist I've always heard of. I've heard some of her music, I think, in the background, like in movies and things like that, but I've never taken a close look, a close listen. So, it's time. And this time is here, actually, thanks to all of you who voted in the poll for Carole King songs on Patreon and for channel members on YouTube. This came in first. Now, I do have to explain one thing, and that is that some songs were left off of the poll because I am considering doing a full album listening of the entire album of Tapestry in the near future. So I did not include those songs in the poll. If I end up not doing that full album, I will go back and do a poll of those songs. And so those songs will end up on the channel somehow in some form. But for now, we're going to hear JAZZMAN. And what are we doing exactly when we're hearing this music? I am a professional, classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we dive into this music looking at the compositional structuring, the instrumentation, maybe some form analysis and music theory, perhaps some instrument demos. But of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it so much? Or maybe why do we not like it? So I am super excited to get introduced to this artist officially. So, no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, here we go.
Lift me, won't you lift me above the old routine? Make it nice, play it clean, JAZZMAN. When the jazzman's testifying, a faithless man believes he can sing you into paradise or bring you to your knees. It's a gospel kind of feeling.
Okay. Okay. I'm laughing because I think I recognize this song, not this version of it though. Okay. Was this on The Simpsons? Did Lisa Simpson sing this with her little saxophone? I think that's what this song was. I never knew that. Once upon a time, I was a huge Simpsons fan, so I probably saw that episode, like when it aired live, or maybe it was kind of a recent rerun. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But I remember there's an episode where she sings some song about a jazz man. I think this is it. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's really reaching back into a memory in my brain somewhere. Wow, okay. It was a long time ago. But as for this song, when I'm hearing it right now, it's a cool song. I immediately recognized her voice. So yes, I've heard some of her music before. Gosh, probably a handful of movies, but I think the one that I remember the most is The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. There's a song by Carole King, I believe, in that soundtrack. I don't own the official soundtrack, but there were a couple of songs on there in actually the original soundtrack, I think, by Rachel Portman. Excellent soundtrack composer there, that I really loved. And so I was always paying attention to the soundtrack to that particular movie, and I believe I recognize her voice from that movie, but I can't remember what the song actually was. Anyway, I definitely, this is ringing a bell. Her voice, the tone of it, her style, and it's actually kind of, I'm having to concentrate on the song itself, but once I do, like I said, it's really cool. There are some really unpredictable modulations, which means, that's how we go from like one key to the next, basically. There were a few that were just not predictable all of a sudden. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's really colorful. And then there's just the overall sound, like with her voice and how it's doubled in the recording. Interesting. And so it was like single at the beginning, and then there were like maybe two of the layers in her voice. But then this little place that we got to, it seemed like there were even more. It's a really cool effect. And obviously we're hearing a lot of saxophones in here, JAZZMAN, that makes sense. But that's why my brain went to like, okay, Lisa Simpson with the saxophone. Okay, let's keep going. Back it up a little bit, and here we go.
It's a gospel kind of feeling, a touch of Georgia slide, a song of pure revival, and a style that's sanctified. Jazzman, take my blues away, make my day the same as yours with every change you play. Jazzman, oh Jazzman. When the jazzman's signifying and the band is winding low, it's the late night side of morning in the darkness of his soul. He can fill the room with sadness as it feels.
No, okay, we had a little synthesizer sound in there at the end. Okay, that's a cool addition. So, oh goodness, there are so many layers in this song. It's really thickly textured. Wow. And they're all sort of, I'm talking about predictable. There's something about this that's both predictable and unpredictable, and I think that is what keeps your interest. So her voice, it's very unique. She doesn't use a lot of vibrato, which is kind of where you sort of wiggle the voice. You hold a note, but it kind of wiggles. That's vibrato. I don't think she uses very much of it at all. And that's okay. That's a style choice. And I think it lends itself well to her style. So at one point, actually, I heard when her voice was handed off directly to the saxophone. That was really cool. But all of these layers, every time I hear one, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would have guessed that was going to be the next layer added. But now that I hear it, that's really great. Great choice. So I keep hearing more and more of these choices, and they're all very successful. You would think that would always be the case in a popular song, a successful song, but it's not. It doesn't always need to be there, like those interesting composer choices. No, it doesn't need to be there. But when it is, those of us that have that training and we just sort of naturally listen for those details in a song, we appreciate it. So that's probably also what makes this song kind of special, sparkle a little bit, right? I also enjoy the beat. It's very much on the beat, da 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 da, and then the little claps. And I was trying to get on that. At first, I thought it was but then it was just two claps. But none of this, again, is supposed to completely throw you off. But there's just enough unpredictability in there to keep it really interesting. So lots of layers. Now we're adding the ooze with her voice in the background. And then the little synthesizer thing. Excellent little solos here for the saxophone. I mean, I believe she's actually talking about a man who is a jazz musician. So yeah, they're going to show that off in the song. So let's back this up to hear this next variation of the verse. We're hearing a lot of the verse there, I think, but it's keeping our interest. All right, so we've backed it up and continue on. We'll hear it on out.
He can fill a room with sadness as it fills his horn with tears. He can cry like a fallen angel when rising time is near. Jazzman, take my blues away, make my pain the same as yours with every change you play. Oh, lift me, won't you lift me with every turn around? Play it sweetly, take me down, oh, Jazzman.
All right, and a really slow fade out there, but that's obviously to indicate that the jazz man is going to continue playing and, kind of riding off into the sunset here, just playing on. And that's really cool because it's obvious that she is writing about this moment where she connected with a performer. Now, is this like a relationship kind of thing, or is it strictly, hey, this was a cool musical moment for me? I don't know. If you know the story behind this, let me know. Okay, the overall sound of it. I believe this was released in 1974. So I definitely hear some 70s things, even a little bit of like progressive rock sound in there, just with the synthesizer stuff, and it was neat also how that synthesizer was integrated into the sound. It could have been done in a way that did not blend. And the first time I heard it, I was like, but no, it was good though. It was an unexpected flavor that ended up going really well with this little dish. So again, it's the unpredictability here. Yet once you hear it, it all comes together to really make sense. Okay, let's check the lyrics before we go any further. Lift me, won't you lift me above the old routine? Make it nice, play it clean, jazzman. When the jazzman's testifying, a faithless man believes. He can sing you into paradise or bring you to your knees. It's a gospel kind of feeling, a touch of Georgia slide. A song of pure revival in a style that's sanctified. Jazzman, take my blues away, make my pain the same as yours with every change you play. Jazzman, oh jazzman. Interesting. Well, yeah, so I think that's her describing the connection with a musician, and that is a really special kind of moment where there's someone on stage playing their music, and at the same time you are drawing from that performance. You realize that so are they, like they're really into it, and so you just feel more connected. Music can do that to all of us, can't it? Yeah. Cool that it's being written about here. When the jazzman signifying and the band is winding low. Okay, so I think the saxophone is playing the solo, like the instrumental part, and they're giving cues to the band. It's the late night side of morning and the darkness of his soul. Like, okay, winding down the gig. He can fill a room with sadness as he fills his horn with tears. Yikes. He can cry like a fallen angel when rising time is near. So, playing the night away, playing his blues away. But it's not blues, man. It's jazzman. But here, jazzmen, take my blues away. Make my pain the same as yours with every change you play. Yeah, that is absolutely that connection, and maybe not even just with the performer, but also the music itself. Oh, so many layers here. Oh, lift me, won't you lift me with every turn around? Play it sweetly, take me down, oh jazzman. Okay, this is really neat. So many emotional connections. But at the same time, you don't have to get that from this song if you don't want to, because it's a cool sounding song, and so you can just appreciate it for that. But if you feel like being a little bit more emotionally in depth, then you can think about it this way. Okay, so let's go to a few parts in this song and take a closer look. So, for instance, towards the beginning, I was talking about how there were some chord changes and some key modulations, things like that happening that were just a little bit unpredictable, which is not a bad thing, like I said. Let's go back to one of these spots and see if we can catch one. Some of them were very slight, but they caught my ear.
When the jazzman's testify and a faithless man believes, he can sing you
Yeah, just that.
into paradise or bring it to your knees.
There. Okay. So the first little change, let's go back and hear it again. It's just a slight little change in the chord. And it's not that unusual, I guess, but at the same time, it leaves such a broad choice of where it wants to go that you're not quite sure what's going to happen. And then where it does end up going is on the jazzy side, which is fun. So let's hear it again.
When the jazzman's testify and a faithless man believes,
That.
he can sing you into
Just that little motion right there. It leaves it open to where are we going? There.
It's a gospel kind of feeling, a touch
Does it do it again?
Georgia slide,
Yeah.
a song of pure.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to turn my keyboard on. So I think it goes from there, those two notes. Let's hear it again. Yeah. So it goes up to the fourth. And again, music goes up to the fourth note. It goes from C to F. But often when you go to the 4, it will go up to the 5 and then back down. But it doesn't. It kind of just goes up and touches the 4th. And then where it ends up resolving kind of solves the puzzle. So these are all chords that we hear all the time, but the way it's treated here is just a little bit special. And then also going back and listening to that part again at the beginning, I did hear some of the synthesizer sound at the beginning, like bum, 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 bum. It was there, and I didn't notice that the first time. Interesting. So, speaking of interesting sounds, now that's the other thing that I thought was really neat in here, is that there were times when there was one instrument that just blended directly into the next instrument. And the first time that happened, it was actually with her voice, which I think I need to amend what I said. She does use some vibrato. It's on the slower side, but I don't think it's like, it didn't stand out, obviously, because I wasn't really remembering it. I'm just remembering when she sings more straight toned most of the time. And her voice just sort of lends itself to that. So it works. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I did hear her using some vibrato. But let's go to this moment. It's actually just coming up here where her voice, I believe, like transitions basically, like it hands it off into the saxophone, and it was identical. It was really neat. Yeah. So she held on all the way to the end, but the saxophone came in and actually was the dominant sound there at the end, and they sounded the same because they were in unison there in the same octave. That's kind of a neat little effect. And it happened again later. Let's find that spot.
Down, oh, jazzman.
That's what it is. Okay. So it's not necessarily handing it off, but both the synthesizer and the sax went up. Da, da. They were in that little interval up there, which again, interval is just the distance between two notes. And they were up there. And I was thinking it was two saxophones, but the higher note was the sax, the lower note was the synthesizer. And that is really neat how they sort of made them interchangeable. Again, that's the unpredictability here. It would seem like singing about jazz and singing about a jazz musician and then you have a saxophone playing. That's kind of a simplistic idea. So you have to really add all these little details to it. One other thing that I thought was really neat was the gospel idea. So she mentions that it's like listening to gospel, speaking to you through the saxophone playing, through the musician's performance. And then you hear sounds in the background, the chorus, the vocals that kind of represent a gospel choir. That effect was not lost on me. Let's go and find that spot. It happened a couple of times actually, but I think the first time was around here.
It's a gospel kind of feeling.
You hear that chorus opening up for the gospel? Not a coincidence. Totally on purpose. Love it. Oh, and that's the place where the voice went into the saxophone. Awesome. And so actually then with the gospel and talking about, it's almost like they're at church and listening to the preacher preach, there was a spot coming up where there was actually some conversation or talking happening where she said a lyric and then the saxophone replied, sort of. Yes.
Take my blues away.
She's talking to him directly. And there he goes.
Every change you play. Oh, lift me, won't you lift me? Every turn around. Play it sweetly. Take
Those are some good saxophone chops there. And she's sort of sliding all around. Her voice is so smooth. And again, the tone of it is so unique. It's so unique. And all of those ingredients put together is going to make for a big hit here. I also think that this song would be pretty great watching it performed live. So if you can recommend any live performances, please do. Okay, that was JAZZMAN by Carole King, and also the first Carole King reaction here on the channel. I really love her style. I love the uniqueness of her voice, that tone. I don't think I've heard another artist that sounds quite like it. And so, of course, her message here with talking to the jazzman, listening to the jazzman, and getting something really neat out of this performance is a really great one to write about. I can tell that she is a fine songwriter. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, so there have been some things on the channel over the last several months that I remember Carole King's name coming up, in which she had a hand in writing some of this music. And so, yeah, she is quite the songwriter. So thanks again, everybody who voted for this song on Patreon and all the channel members. It's kind of fun to take part in these polls because, as you can see, this is the result. So thanks again to everybody who voted. Also, don't forget that I am considering doing the whole album of Tapestry. So stay tuned for announcements about that coming up on the channel. So if one of your favorite songs is from that album, again, that's why it was not on this particular poll. But we'll get to all of them, I promise. So thanks for coming along with me for this song. It was really great. And will it go on my playlist? Yes, absolutely. So I'll also continue on with the second place winner for this poll. I can't remember what that is offhand right now, but we'll get there. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. and keep listening.